permit me, I'll go ahead with the class aspect of the syllabus. Does not require any form of calculation. So I'll go ahead with the class. Then after the class, I will share the notes with us. Please confirm if that is okay by us so that we don't waste further time trying to face this. Please confirm it's okay by us so that we can start in earnest.
Yes, we can start, sir. It's okay. As long as you
great.
share it to us on the group.
Oh, sure, why not? Yes, you will have it immediately after the class. And who just spoke? Jessica, you just spoke, right?
Yes, Jessica.
Okay, so Jessica, after the class, just provide me your email address. I'll send to you, then you can cascade. Okay, so let's start. Okay, that's fine. So let's start. So welcome again to today's class. As I said, I'll be taking on the IT parts of this course, information technology. So today we will be starting. I'll be introducing us to this to the course today. So today we'll look at the introductory part. We'll look at what information system is all about. We'll talk about the behavioral issues information system. We'll talk about privacy and its violation. Then we'll also venture into e-business and e-commerce. We'll talk about internet and various models of e-commerce. Then we'll look at IT policies, the importance and the rest. Then we'll talk about outsourcing, and finally we'll end it with data center disaster when it happens, what is expected from you. Please, if I'm fast, just draw my attention to it so that I could slow down a little. So the course of this part, the course is information management information, but the IT part basically, talks about information technology, how you are able to, merge information technology, or how you are going to deploy information technology into our day-to-day information management. But before we go into that, there's a central thing, a central word around this information technology. That word is information. Information. You see it, you hear me oftentimes talk about it. So before we go delve into it fully, let's ask ourselves, let's try to have an understanding of what information is all about. But again, before we have an information, or before we talk about information, let's step back a little and talk about what gave birth to information. So I'm going to start from there tonight. So I'll start with the word data, D-A-T-A, data. So data are raw facts and figures. Data are unprocessed information. For you to talk about information, you must talk about data first. Why? Because data gave birth to information. It is when you process data that gives you information. Just as I mentioned, this is not where we are dwelling, but I just want to start from there so that we'll have a context to where we are going to. So data, again, as I said, are raw facts and figures, unprocessed information. Now, the question then is, what then is information if data are raw facts and figures? Now, information, which is our concern, are actually data that is endowed with relevance and purpose. They are data that make sense. They are those things that management would need to take decision. I told them in last diet that you don't make decision on data. Yes, you could have lots of data, everywhere, but you don't make decision based on that. You make decision based on information. Let me cite a quick example to you. If you stay at the toll gate here and collect the numbers of cars that passes through the toll, yes, saloon cars, trucks, vans, after collecting them, you take them home and just dump them. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. Now, the only way to make sense to you is when you now categorize, okay, how many saloon cars, how many trucks, how many vans, okay, in all this, how many are private, how many are public, in all this, how many actually are on this particular, that uses this particular track. By the time you analyze all those, maybe you want to put up on adverts for maybe young people. Maybe you want to put out an advert. Then you ask yourself, what's the demography of persons that actually uses this toll gate on daily basis? Now, what are you trying to make? You are trying to make sense to those data. That will inform your decision in actually making a management decision. Okay, do we go ahead and place an advert there, considering that X number of persons will be saying this on daily basis? So you can see those things you collected initially, they are data. They're not useful. It is when you process them, when you summarize them, when you sort them, when you filter them, when you apply some form of calculation into them, that is processing. Then you are able to come up with information. Yes, okay, there are about 2 million persons that passes through this toll gate on daily basis. So what that means is that out of these 2 million persons, we are sure that 75% of persons will look up when they are passing to see our adverts. Oh, I think it's a good 75% of 2 million is quite a substantial number. Then you can now, as management, now take the decision. Okay, yes, we'll go ahead to put up our adverts at the toll. So do you think you understand what information is now? So information is when data is processed, when data is given purpose and relevance. That's when it becomes information. And as I did mention, you don't take decision based on data, you take decision based on information. Okay, so that's the meaning of information. The notes, when you have the notes, of course, it elaborates more. But as I said, I will do more of the explanation. So when you are reading, it's a little much easier to assimilate. That's it. So that's the information. Now, oftentimes you also hear the word information system. Now I'm taking them in bits and pieces so that by the time we put them together, it makes more sense. I just explained what data is. I just explained what information is. Now I'm trying to pick the word system. Now when we say system, of course you hear the word system often. I'm trying to, break out from information system, having known what information is. Now I want to talk about system. Now system simply means there are different, when you have different components that interact together, we simply say it's a system. Okay, now take for instance, look at our body. You hear the word body system. Of course, body system is made up of several components, several parts. You have the digestive system, your circulatory system, the reproductive system, the nervous system, the skeletal system, all manner of systems, that comes together to make our body. So when we talk about system, we talk about various interacting components, parts, that comes together to accomplish a purpose. So when you hear information system, just know we're not referring to just one thing. There are various components that comes together to achieve that particular purpose. And again, when you often hear the word also business system, still part of system. So when you hear business system, we're talking about collection of persons, you and I that work in the office, collection of all the machines that is used, collection of all the methods that is being applied, that all of them put together, interacting together, to achieve the business function. Take for instance, if you have your system in the office, the system doesn't operate itself. And if the personnel are there and there are no machine for them to work, of course, the business system will still suffer. And even if you have the machine, you have the persons, and there are no procedures. Okay, when you come in the morning, you have to log in with your ID card so that it's ensured that a favor has come in today. You are sure that we are sure that Babajide came in by 12 as against coming in by 8. So if there are no those methods, that is set, the business system will not function properly. So in a nutshell, business system is a collection of persons, you and I, systems, methods, procedures, rules, that comes together, that interacts together, to allow the business function more effectively. Now, so we have an idea of what a system is now. Interacting collection of persons, collection of machines, collection of methods, that works together just to accomplish, a business function. Okay, that's it. So we now ask ourselves, now let's start put all these things together. I've explained what information is. I've explained what the system is. So what then is the information system? So this is actually where, ICANN wants us to start from, but I had to step back a little to explain the concepts before coming to information system. So what then is information system? So information system involves various procedures that are used to collect, that are used to store, that are used to produce, they are used to distribute information. What am I saying? Information system in any organization simply means how an organization process, the data they have to produce the information. Don't forget what I told you the other time. You don't make decisions based on data. Decisions are based on information. So how do organizations process that data to become information so that decision can be made on them? That is what we call information system. Take, for instance, I sometime 5 years ago, I went to Sura to renew my driver's license. Sura, there's one road safety office there. Now, I entered one room. You will see a particular piles of files, heaped there, of various, when you're renewing your license, you fill some certain form. People that have, renewed or gotten their license over the, you just pack the whole files there. Hey, I look like these are people's data that is lying down here. Yes, they might have collected their driver's license, but these are stack of data over the years. Hey, what does that mean? That tells you that is an information. Yes, it is manual, but that's an information system of road safety. Look at what the embattled Minister of Interior is trying to do, before his removal. Okay, before his suspension or removal, trying to streamline how you get your international passports. Hey, that's an information system. That's their method of collecting. That's a method of sorting. That's a method of, filtering. That's a method of distributing information. And that is what we refer to as information system. How organization, like for instance, where I work, vendors, suppliers don't submit physical invoice to account department. It's not even allowed. You are a vendor, you have to scan it and produce a soft copy for them if you want your invoice to be processed. That's an information system for the company. While I've also worked in a company where if you don't bring physical invoice to the office where it's stamped, it's not processed. You can see two different organizations with two different information systems. So what I'm trying to say in essence is information system simply deals with how organization collects, how they store, how they produce, how they sort, how they filter, and how they distribute information. Please feel free to draw my attention if you don't understand. I could speak very fast, but I teach very slow. Yeah, I could speak very fast, but I teach very slow. So having said that, so once again, information system refers to, integrated components, devices in which organization using collecting, in which they're using processing, in which they're using storing, in which they're using sharing and distributing information in an organization. Okay, so typically, a typical information system in any organization will have 5 components. I can ask you a question in OBJ, which of this is not a component of information system? The list for including one wrong answer. So we're going to talk about them. So when you come across this, in fact, they've done it before. When you come across this again in your OBJ, you're able to know the right one to pick. So typically, an information system will have a hardware. We'll talk about this in detail in subsequent classes. We'll talk about hardware, we'll talk about different types of hardwares, and we'll try to identify that, put in some pictures. We'll try to identify which of them, and so that when we come across it on that day, we are able to do justice to it. So typically, as I said, an information system will have 5 components. So typically, it will have a hardware, it will have a software, it will have a telecommunication devices, it will have a database, and it will have you and I, the human resources, the human part of it. I'll take it again. It will have a hardware. There must be software. There'll be telecommunication devices. There'll be database for storage, and there'll be you and I, the human aspect of it. As I said, we'll talk about each of them. We'll talk about database, I think in my 4th class. We'll talk about networking, I think in the 3rd class. Then hardware and software, we'll talk about in the next class. Then the human part of it. So just have it in the back of your mind that a typical information system for now has 5 components. We'll delve into them in subsequent classes. Okay, so please confirm if you can hear me and I should continue.
We can hear you, sir.
We can hear you.
We can hear you.
Great. So quickly, let's look at the approaches to information system. This is a generic steps or a generic steps in which a typical organization, take for instance, an organization that was keeping a manual record. Look at the road safety I mentioned to you in Sura Market, that keeps manual record of those that want renew or get their driver's license. Now, let's assume they want to automate it, move from the manual method to the electronic method. So that's what we mean by approaches to information system. We'll talk about this again in detail. Today we'll talk about system development lifecycle. But for now, as I said, I'm introducing us to the course tonight. So typically it has 5 steps. It has 5 steps when you want to implement information system. So the first one is problem analysis. I'll just talk about each of them briefly. Today we'll talk about it, we'll break them down more. So the first one is problem analysis. So problem analysis here, we're talking about, diagnosing the problem. Like for instance, when I went there, I was taken aback. Usually I don't go to Sura. I renew on the island there, but I don't know. Somebody told me Sura was a bit freer and I should go there and renew. I was taken aback when I saw those stack of files, of people who have collected, their driver's license over the years. So the first thing is, if you are now, gotten into, because these are somehow ICANN will say their question, you are now being consulted as a consultant to come and, look at. So this is actually the part that ICANN is drawing your attention to, the approaches to information technology. So the first one, as I said, is problem analysis. You must be able to identify what the problem is. So once you're able to identify what the problem is, you are 50% done to the problem. Of course, you could know that just imagine that, okay, imagine me now that renewed 5 years ago. Now, if my driver's license is due for renewal and I go back to Sura office, imagine how difficult it would be to retrieve my own file out of the stack. Just imagine. It used to be like that in General Hospital. I don't know how General Hospital looks like before now, but it used to be like that. Go to General Hospital, you see stack of files of persons. Somehow those nurses know how to retrieve those files anyway. But hey, there are better ways to do those things. A simple tablet, not even laptop, a simple tablet to keep that same information stack. In fact, some will even use one room. They call it archive. That is rubbish. It's rubbish. So as I said, the first thing is the problem analysis. You try to identify what exactly is the problem here. So once you're able to do that, then you go to the next stage. The next stage will be requirement documentation. Now, in all these things I've identified as a problem, what can I do to, to support or to make this, situation better? So what it means that for moving from manual to electronic, definitely common sense tells you will need, a computer system, you need some form of network devices, you need to train people on how to use whatever software you are deploying for them. Then you need to have, that's after, after the training, that's, hand-holding period before you eventually leave them to, to get on to, do them. So these are things you document. It's called requirement documentation. You document them before you even start implementing. Then the next stage is the design stage. Now, this is actually when you sit down and actually get the design done. Okay, if a typical person that comes here, what do we want to do? Like, take for instance, fantastic guy was doing good, some good work. Former minister, why am I calling him former? Okay, the Minister of Interior is not removed yet, it's just suspended. Fantastic guy, doing stuff. I see what he's doing, Yeah. Okay, now you don't need to come to Obalinde, or Ikeja, beside ShopRite to do your renewal, or you to do you don't need to do that anymore. Start the comfort of your house on your system, fill whatever form you need to fill, and do whatever thing. The only time you need to come is when you want to capture, which is once in a lifetime. Fantastic guy. As against anytime you want to renew, you are rushing to, and that's when somebody will now tell you, you need to buy file, you need to do this. That human interaction we do not want. So this is what you will decide at the design stage. Okay, this is how we want to do it. Previously in the bank, you know how difficult it is even to deposit your own money in the bank. I mean, in fairness to you, I can't remember when last I entered a banking hall. I can't remember when last. What am I entering there to do? The closest I go to a bank is to use the ATM machine. That is, if I need physical cash. I can't remember. But before, our life revolves around banking system, where you even have this passbook where you deposit the few deposits, you withdraw the few, and they give you. But if you remember what I'm talking about, now all that has changed. And that was done during the the design stage of whatever system that the bank currently deployed. So after then, you go to the next stage, which is system development. Please bear with me. I know you're not saying what I'm, but trust me, as I promised, I'm going to provide this same material that I'm using, to you immediately after the class. Okay, so the system development is the next stage where all the things that you have actually designed comes to reality. The system is fully, developed and ready, ready to be implemented. That's what the stage talks about. And the final stage is the implementation stage where, all those your drawings and all those your flow charts and the rest becomes reality. Yes, you said if Sanusi clicks submit, Bolaji as the boss would receive it. Oh yeah, Sanusi click submit. Bolaji, did you receive it? Yes. How long? Okay, if you receive it, if you approve, it goes to another payment. Have you received the file from Bolaji? So this is when you actually, all those your English that you have spoken in the presentation, this is actually when it becomes reality. Is he actually working as planned? No, if it's not, then we'll go back. Okay, that's the final stage. As I said, is 5. So let me just reiterate the 5 again. So the first one is you have to look at the problem analysis. Then you try to find out the requirements. Then you, of course, when you're finding out, you have to document it. What exactly do they require to get this thing done? Then you go to the design stage. After then, you develop the system. Then you implement. So problem analysis, requirement documentation, the design, system development, and the implementation stage, which is the final stage. Okay. So that said, so we can go ahead and look at the various the usefulness. This information system we're talking about. Can go ahead and talk about the usefulness of this information system in various business functions. How important is this information system we're talking about? How is it? Why did ICAD even want accountants to even know about information system? What's my business? My business is just to do the debit and credit, prepare my financials, know IFRS, and move on. So why are they, emphasizing? In fact, if you look at the past couple of diets now, I'm sure by the time you start doing your revision, which I don't advise you, start looking at those questions now. By the time you start, you discover that a lot of attention is being paid. A lot of questions is also being asked on this aspect of the syllabus, which, if you ask me, is a good news to you. It's a quick way for you to do and scale the course and move to the next, move to skills level. Okay, so we'll look at the usefulness of information system to various business functions. When we talk about business function, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. Your sales and marketing, your accounting, your production, your human resource, those various departments basically in a typical organization. So we want to look at how important is the information system, relevant in any of those departments. So we'll take them one by one, and again, the list is inexhaustive. What I'm going to share with you, in reality, if you're being asked this question, it's just for you to think. Use your organization as an example. Here that I work with XY Limited. What do information system actually do in accounting departments? Can we actually produce our, like a typical organization now should be thinking of producing their financials? The auditors are around the corner. Can I easily do that manually, considering the volume of work we do, without a typical, a common software? Can we do that? So we'll take it department by department or business function by business function. So I'll start with sales and marketing. What do information system can? If it's a physical class, I would have be more open to interaction. Where just think of it, sales and marketing. What can information, or what do information system, or how can information system help guys in sales and marketing? Of course, various it can help them to predict pattern of consumer demand. Take for instance, have you not noticed that if you're on okay, let me use Facebook. Okay, let me use Gigi as an example. This online marketing platform. Take for instance, if I type LG 1.5 LG horsepower, LG AC, and I search, check when next I visit that site again, that Gigi, what it should start showing me are things relating to AC. Try observe. If you've not observed that, try observe that. Now, when you search for something, subsequently, or you start seeing, even on Facebook, when you search for maybe a particular, or you click on maybe a furniture company, that produces maybe a bed, for instance, a padded bed, and you click on it, check. After a while, you see companies that produces bed will start appearing on, coming close to you for you to click on them. What is that? It's predicting your demand, the consumer demand. The algorithm that works behind the scene to observe what you click on and gives you options that relate to that thing that you click on. That's information technology helping sales and marketing. Then you can do your computers analysis. How your computers are faring. Like I can imagine the competition between Dangote Cement and Bua. We saw what happened late last year and all. You can imagine okay, which one do we go for? Which one do we go for? But last, Oga, if I may use that word, not making adverts. I didn't mention any name anyway. Then, up-to-date information to your sales guys. With information technology, they'll have it at their beck and call. They can search who is the leading manufacturers of baby products in Nigeria. They can search, okay, what does this company do? Maybe Sebamed products. What do they do that we are not doing? And this is somebody at the comfort of your bedroom to do all this. Then you can eventually serve your customer better. Now, that's sales and marketing. If we quickly go to production and manufacturing, because with information technology, you can streamline production. You can reduce cost, waste, and look at what you guys, if you've not done it, you're going to do it in the costing aspect. Mr. Wasi would do justice in that regards. When you guys will be doing make or buy, process further and the rest, join cost. If you come across all those, these are things that information technology, if it's scheduled, of course, you don't even need to just run the schedule. It produces the results for you. And again, it increases efficiency. And of course, the scheduling and rescheduling and, those time wasting definitely would be reduced. I'm talking about in manufacturing. For you guys, or for guys in finance and accounts, of course, families, you produce your, already, TB is ready. TB of last year is ready. Any journal that is posted maybe to P13 is just an attachment, but the trial balance is ready. By mere click of few buttons and execute, SAP produces the trial balance. Imagine how difficult it would be if you're asked to produce trial balance of a multinational company. Imagine how difficult it would be. Let's assume it is manual record, I'm sure some of you has never balanced accounts in exam before, including I speaking. You never balance account, but somehow you pass the paper. But that's not so when you have a software that does this. Of course, that software is a product of information technology. Don't forget what we're looking at. We're looking at the importance of information system to organization. And I told you in that organization, I broke it into different units. Okay, then it eliminates manual data processing. Your data security is more assured, unlike those days when you do ledger manually. When the chief accountant finish, you just keep the ledger on top of his desk. Somebody can easily go there and pick. Then of course most softwares now are they are cloud ready, where you can store in the cloud and access it anywhere in the world where you are. For guys in HR, for human resources, of course, it leads to better, more effective decision making, higher speed. See what LinkedIn has done to everybody on this call, everybody listening to me. There's nobody on this call which I didn't expect that you have not had 1 or 2 interaction on LinkedIn, making the work of HR very easy in terms of recruitment. You just go to LinkedIn and search on the premium, just search. I want maybe a financial reporter, a financial reporting accountant, tax accountant, search to give you loads. Financial reporting in oil and gas, search lots of guys. It's done for you. You'll be amazed with the choices. It was unlike before when you put up an advert, all manner of person. You will specify it. People we want are people that have oil and gas background. You will see people from manufacturing, people from all industry coming. And guess what? You have to open them. If you don't even know who is who. But with, information technology, you're able to see, and there are softwares that tracks application. Once you submit that, it doesn't mean you get, it does filters it and drop the right one. All these are products of information system. Okay, so that said, so if you are asked a question around this, I think last diet in May, I can ask question around, this aspect, trying to find out in May. I think question 5 or thereabouts. Yeah, question 5. This section B, the IT part, which is usually 5. Now they've expanded it to 4, 5, and 6, asking 3 questions in IT, in the section B. I think they asked the question around, the importance of information technology in a business. You can choose to break it down. You can choose to put all of them together, whichever way. But I choose to break it down so that we have a good knowledge of per department.
Sorry to interject, sir. Please, this is Jessica.
Okay.
This importance of information tech system in an organization, in the material, do you have it broken down for each for each department in an organization?
Yes, I read the material that way.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah, I've read the material that way. But in the exam, except you are specifically told to, you can go ahead with this method, which for me I would advise, because it makes it easier. Okay, if I can't even remember anything, I just look at my organization and start breaking them down in the department. Okay, these guys what do they use IT? What can IT, or what has IT done for them? It makes it easier for you to remember. But if you still put it together, lump them together, you are still good to go. Just understand what the requirement of the question is.
All right, so Thank you.
All right, Jessica. So that's it. So let's quickly look at the types of information system. We looked at the meaning. We looked at the importance as per various departments. Now let's look at the types of information system, the various types that exist. So we'll have the first one as TPS, Transaction Processing System. TPS, Transaction Processing System. So this is a type of information system that exists now in an organization. Now, what this one does is hear the name, Transaction Processing System. This one focuses strictly on day-to-day activity. Every organization has their day-to-day. Let me use bank as an example. Bank, either like it or not, there must be deposit, there must be withdrawal, there one form of reconciliation or the other. So that day-to-day, take for instance, ShopRite, people are buying, inventories is depleted, cash is increasing, they're bringing in goods, cash is depleted, inventory is increasing, they're tracking one, all those activities. That is what transaction processing system does. It majorly deals with operational level activities that deals with day-to-day occurrence of business, your sales, your purchase, your payroll, your stock, everything that deals with day-to-day organization. Your typical accounting department processes invoices, raises journals, do reconciliation, post all manner of journals and the rest. Those are your typical day-to-day. And that is what transaction processing typically covers. It typically covers things like data entry. Of course, once you have an invoice, you enter those invoices into the system by way of booking them or by way of processing them. You validate those data you enter to ensure that what you have entered is correct. Like for instance, my organization will use SAP. Once you start the process, you don't end it. Once you raise any journal, you raise any transaction, it goes to the next person. What is it going there to do? To validate. And what is validation? Ensuring the correctness of data that is entered, before it's finally had posted into the system. And once that is done, you can transmit data. Yes, Jessica entered here in Lagos. I'm in Akwa Ibom. I can see what she entered. If it's right, I can call her. If it's wrong, I can call her. Oh no, you need to change maybe the cost center of this particular invoice, so maybe from production to human, just all manner of things, right? That is data transmission. Whatever thing you enter, you open an account, maybe in your NYSC days, maybe somewhere in Kwara, you open an account and you're still operating accounts here, you're on the island now. You're still using that same account you opened in the days when you were serving. The same account, the same bank, nothing changed. That is possible because the bank has mechanism of transmitting data, and this transmission channel can be through all manner of, like in the estate. Now I came back the other day, I saw them trying to, dig the whole estate, the path of the estate, trying to lay, a fiber up. I'm sure you must have seen it in your own estate. I try to ask, what's happening? It's Lagos State government projects that they are trying to link all the whole, the states into. That's a good initiative, if you ask me. What are the summary of that thing they're doing is on data transmission, so that you can easily transmit data on whatever G, 4G or 5G, anyone possible. Then there'll be file and data lookup. What I mean by data lookup is maybe you are filling a form online, you see gender or you see sex. When you click on that button, that's what we call lookup. You either see male or female. You either see male or that's lookup. That's also possible. Then there's also logical comparison, where if you enter a data that is wrong, maybe where you're supposed to enter, maybe age, you're supposed to enter 40, 35, 20. If you go there to type alphabet and you submit that form, the form will not accept. Because it has compared what you entered and what is supposed to be. Logical comparison. Of course, if it doesn't match, it do not allow you. Then there's master file update as well. By the time you submit, it goes to somewhere. Just like your software, when you process, you click post, you click OK, you click anything, it goes into somewhere, it goes into the database, which is the master file. Then, of course, it has storage, which you can always make backup of. I'll talk about this backup much later. Very important. So that the day your village people will remember you, they won't know that you have, a backup somewhere, that you have made backup. These are all the things we do in transit. Don't forget what we're talking about. We're talking about types of information system. And I started by talking about the first one, which is transaction processing system. And as I said, this one deals with day-to-day activities. I mentioned bank, I mentioned a supermarket, I use ShopRite as an example. Then I told you typically what you do in your transaction processing system will just involve, your data capture, your validation, your transmission, the lookup, the logical comparison, the master file updates, storage, and finally, you make backup. All this you will see in the notes. Now, in the notes, I try to look at each of the transaction, each of the type that we will talk about. Like I have talked about the first one, which is transaction processing system, the advantage and the disadvantage. So each of them is in the notes, but let me just run them through. For the advantage of transaction, you produce, timely reports. It reduces manual labor, clerical labor. Increase the efficiency and gives you competitive advantage. Imagine if, let me use a two courier company. I'm not going to mention name. Imagine two courier company. One tells you, hey, when you send these documents with us to maybe Madrid, Spain, you can track it. We'll give you a code. You go to our site, enter the code, click enter. It will tell you where it is. It's in Lomé, it's in South Africa, it's got into Italy, it's in Rome, aboard is tomorrow it will be in Barcelona, next tomorrow it will be in Madrid. I mean, they will tell you it goes down logical, you're able to see that okay, this is where the thing is. Unlike one will tell you, bring it in 3 days, in 3 working days, go there. I call them, they would have gotten it. And 3 working days, you call them, it's not here, you don't even know who to ask. Imagine if the two of them charges the same price. Imagine the one you and I will tilt towards. Okay, imagine the one you and I. So these are some of the advantages of information tech transaction processing system. So quickly take the second one. I've explained the first one, which is transaction processing system. The second one is management information system. So this one deals with evaluation, design, implementation, and utilization of system. These are English. What am I saying? Management information system is a type of information system that deals with how you evaluate, how you design, how you implement and utilize the system to do what? To generate information. Like for instance, I've mentioned before, we use SAP. That's the software everybody in the organization use that single software because it's an ERP. We'll talk about ERP shortly. Now, whatever thing that you need to produce or you need to get out, you must get it out from the system. Whatever thing you're processing, it must not be processed outside the system. It must be processed in the system. Why? So that any information you need, you don't need to go anywhere. Still check that system. It will produce that information so that you can do what? Make, for instance, maybe you are in treasury unit. For you listening to me, you are in treasury unit, and let's assume Jessica is the head of treasury. Jessica comes, call you, Babajide, please, can I see all the payments you guys have made? Maybe tomorrow is Friday. All the payments you guys have made this week. Now imagine if Babajide has made some payments outside the system. Of course, anything in schools will not be correct. True. So that's why, this management information, anything you're doing, how the organization evaluate, design, implements, and utilize the system to generate information. Why are you generating information? So that you can improve the efficiency and the effectiveness of management decision. That's why, Jessica is a manager. That's why he's asking Babajide, pull this thing. I need this information for whatever, maybe for cash flow management or for whatever purpose that she needs it for. Okay, so that's management information system. How organization evaluate, design, and utilize the system. And of course, it has its own advantage. It improves efficiency, enhance decision making, helps in strategic planning and control. Good thing, the advantages of each of all those things revolves around each other. It's just for you to wrap it, in case you are asked, wrap it around each of them. And each of them most likely will serve for the other one if you are smart or if you understand it clearly. So let's take another one. I've explained transaction processing system. I've explained management information system. So let's take another one, DDS, decision support system. Now, this decision support system helps help middle line managers, by providing them information that they need when they need to take some form of decision. What am I talking about? Now, hold on a second. If you go to the bank to apply for a loan, there's a credit unit that will evaluate you, right? Good. Now, that credit unit, they will ask you to bring your financials, bring your statement of financial position, and bring your income statements, what you call profit or loss. Now, they will do some ratio analysis. Your liquidity, your current ratios, and all those ratios that you do to determine if that loan the chances of that loan going bad or not. This same thing they do manually. I'm telling you, with a decision support system, what you just need is key in all those information and let the system run it. It will tell you if this customer would default on the loan or not. It's also use a medical line. You go to the system, they'll just ask you. In fact, some hospitals pay attention if you visit, a medical doctor is asking you, how do you feel? Oh, I feel headache at the left side of my head. I feel a bit dizzy in the morning. I feel a bit dizzy at night. I feel weak generally during the day. You see him typing something. I'm not saying all, most of them uses this decision support software. As he's keying all those things and he runs it will most likely, that software will diagnose based on what you have said, which the doctor has also keyed in. And eventually, it doesn't stop there. It eventually even goes ahead to prescribe, okay, this guy will need, or this patient will need ibuprofen, he will need some rest, he will need to take more water, he will need to take blah, blah, blah. I'm not a medical doctor. But you see this software producing this same, diagnosis that the doctor will eventually tell you. That software that doctor is using, that's an example of decision support system, helping, managers in taking some decision that they are not fully structured, because what you're saying is not really a structured. I feel headache on my side. Okay, what am I even saying? You guys will do linear programming. Yes, and you do some forecasting. That linear programming that you learn, that you do regression and all those things, it's actually for decision making. That's a typical example of decision support system. Some of us are very good in Excel. That one will model in Excel. Can even use Excel to produce financial statements. So that Excel that you use, if it's when by the time you do your modeling in Excel, it's an example of decision support system. Okay, So that's of course the advantages are there, enhance the effectiveness, reduces costs. Instead of maybe where you're supposed to employ 3 persons, 1 person is doing it because just key in the thing you want on the system, instead of produce, then it saves you, it saves you time and gives you, of course, competitive advantage. Okay. Then let's look at another one called Executive Information System. Now the name speaks for itself. These are actually for top guys. These are actually for, the executive in the organization. Usually, this one does not usually involve details. Let's go back to the bank, for instance. Now, let's assume Babajide is a BM, is a branch manager. Sanusi maybe is a teller in that branch, for instance. Now, Babajide can come to Sanusi, please, I want to see the cash deposit. And somebody at the top, Babajide is not interested in, we have 402 customers that came in and deposit money. The customer 1 deposited 5,000. Customer 2 deposited 240,000. Who cares? That's not what Babajide is asking for. As an executive, what he's just asking is, what is the total? Okay, what he's simply, okay, we had a deposit of 52 million naira in this branch today. That is what he's interested in. Not, the piece and bits of, okay, what is the denomination? But no. But the head teller or the head cashier may be interested in that detail. What am I saying? Executive Information System, which is an example of information system, provides strategic information that tailors to the needs of the top guys, top executive, top management staff, not detail. Okay? Not detail. Please take note of that in case you're asked to, talk about this. Although the notes, you read more in the notes when you have it. Okay, so for the advantages, of course, facilitates access to information, increases productivity, enhances. You can see the advantages wraps around, itself. Then we'll have another one called expert system. Now, this expert system, mimics a typical decision an expert will take. That's why it's called an expert system. Take, for instance, just like the one I mentioned before, the medical doctor part. If you go to meet a medical doctor, in fact, if you're joining my company, there is a test you do, MRI test that you do. They use it to compare the age you profess in your CV or you profess in the form you fill and what the hospital will send to them. In fact, the hospital will never refer to you. When you're doing your medicals, they refer to the HR direct. They won't even come to you. They just refer to the HR direct. So if typically you put that you are 32 years old and your MRI test saying that you are 42, Benny, you'll not get that job because that's the first integrity test that you are failing. That's the first integrity test you are failing. My company do that. Okay. So why did I mention this? That MRI machine that it actually tests your bone to determine how old. Your bone is through your bone that will truly know how old a person is, not the flesh, not the look. Some look older than their age, some look younger than their age. So it's not the look, it's not the flesh, it's not the way you talk or your level of acumen. No, it's through your bone, and that's what that's why all this on the 20. That's the test they carry out now. In fact, I remember which country was that they tested 22 players, the 22 of them failed. 22 out of 22 failed. They have to then go and start recruiting for the tournaments. I can't remember one African countries like that. So this expert system is an example. That MRI machine, the example of expert system that takes expert, decision based on, the knowledge which it has. That's why it's called experts at the first place. It has its own advantage. It has its own disadvantage. There's also a personnel system. Personnel system speaks for itself. Basically deals with, record keeping for guys in HR, record keeping of employees. There's even finance system. There's office information system. Instead of doing all this mundane clerical work, everything is filed. Like as I said, you do not submit fiscal invoice in my place of work. Every invoice that you need to submit, in fact, the only fiscal document that we receive are documents from statutory organization, from governments. Like DPR cannot serve you a document, tell them you want it scanned. The next thing they are saying they're sending you sanction straight. Or FRS cannot send you demand notice and you're telling them no. But all our vendors, no matter where you are, they don't, guys in account payable don't receive fiscal invoice. It has to be scanned. Then there is enterprise resource planning. Please take note of this, ERP, enterprise resource planning. Now, this one is a single software that is designed to automate the business process. I've mentioned this to you, like my company uses SAP. We're using Sun system before, till the company changes to SAP. Now, SAP is just one software, just one, but everybody, every department, including drivers, because drivers, they will feed their timesheets on the system. Yes, everybody uses that single software. So that software that is designed to automate business process and allows or facilitate flow of information from one unit. I gave you an example before. Somebody can raise a journal. It was the other person who would review it and had post it on the system. SAP does that clearly. And SAP is an example of your ERP. Sun Systems is an example of your ERP. Navigation is also an example of your ERP. Globus, is an example of Finacle used in the bank, is an example of ERP. One software that automates the whole business process. If you notice, I didn't mention maybe a software like QuickBook, for instance. QuickBook, you may not be qualified to be called an enterprise resource planning because it may not be all departments or all units that use it. Maybe guys in asset protection, what you call security departments, may not need it. What they need QuickBook? Nothing. But ERP does that because all the drivers are under them. When a driver is going out, you need to come to the system and enter, where you're going to, how long you think it will take, when you're coming back, and all those things. QuickBook may not have that facility. That's why it may not be called. And so the summary is any software that has the ability to automate business process that allows everybody to integrate into one software is an example of enterprise resource planning. Of course, it has its own advantages. It has its own advantages, basically. Okay, sorry, I'll move a little more faster now. Please still confirm you can hear me and should continue.
Can hear you, sir.
Jessica, you seem to be the only one talking.
That was Tokwe, not Jessica.
Oh, Tokwe. Oh, great. Good to hear your voice. Sanusi, were you speaking?
Yeah, I said you can go on.
Great. Babajide, are you still with us or you have slept off?
Hello, yeah, I'm here with you.
Oh, great. Please hang on, Hang on. Thank you. These diets are usually, May diets are usually a short diet. So we need to do what we need to do so that we can free you to prepare for your exams. Okay. So having looked at what's enterprise, you can go ahead and mute again. Okay, thank you. Having looked at various types of information system, I can want us to look at privacy issues when it comes to use of software. Privacy issues. Of course, we know what patents, trademark, copyrights, and trade secrets are. I was discussing with someone the other day. I was asking if he knows what KFC, the recipe they use in frying their chicken to be that crispy. I'm a big fan of it. To be that crispy. I was asking my colleague in the office. We got on, so we shared. I was asking, do you know what they use in make? If you do your own at home, it won't be this crispy and tasty. And of course, we both agree that it's a trade secret. Even the person who initiated the process, at the point you will leave for another person to come and take over, so that both of you won't know the beginning and the end. The same thing with Coca-Cola. We drink Coca-Cola everywhere since birth, but nobody till today knows what Coca-Cola is produced with. Nobody. From that Atlanta, Georgia, where it's been, that secret has been kept till date. Maybe one of the top secrets of the world. Nobody knows what. You see carbonated water, you see sugar. You say, go and get carbonated, put sugar inside and see if put coloring, see if it tastes like Coke. It wouldn't. So we are saying patents, trademark as owner of a software You should pay attention to this because people infringe into, into patents, into copyrights. That's why if you have a product, if you have a software that you have designed, you must quickly go and register it. Otherwise, if someone goes there first before you, even musical recording, that's why some people, if they are recording in studio, that's why studio is usually, apart from the noise filtering in, studio in such a way that when they talk, you can't hear from there, so you can't even predict what is cooking till eventually it comes out. Okay, that's it. So let's quickly look at the electronic business and the e-commerce and e-business. So when you hear the word e, we're referring to electronic. E-commerce and e-business, are they the same? No, they are not. So e-commerce simply means, transaction of goods and services via an electronic means. I'll take that again. E-commerce simply means, transaction of goods and services through or via an electronic means. The electronic means I'm talking about here is the internet. How you buy, how you sell on the internet. Look at Gigi, look at Konga, look at Jumia, look at Alibaba, look at eBay. Just mention them. All those transactions that deals with you buying and selling on the internet is called e-commerce. Okay. Then e-business goes beyond that. So e-business goes beyond just buying and selling. E-business goes beyond buying and selling. It includes other aspects like payments, like after sales service, like follow up. It's not all sites that you buy from that you can pay online. Yeah, not all sites. You can buy and pay online. No, some will say buy, pay on delivery. Why some will say if you don't pay online, they will not deliver. So those sites that includes the payment aspect of it and the logistics aspect of it, we can call those ones e-business. While the ones you just interact by way of buying and selling, those ones are just e-commerce. Please, these two things, in case you sit in your OBJ, they can describe one and put the two of them in the answer. Which one is e-commerce? So please get it straight. E-commerce simply means buying and selling through an electronic means. Internet is what we're talking about here. Buying and selling on the internet, e-commerce. Then e-business goes beyond, is e-commerce plus other remedial activities, other, the payments, the facilitation of after sales service, the follow-up, all that ensures the sales is complete. They tell you production is not complete, it gets to the final consumer. Good. The same thing here. All those peripheral activities surrounding that buying and selling is called the e-business. Okay. Now, for this e-business,
hello, sir. Sorry, sir. Hello.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I have a question.
Go ahead,
okay, so let's take, for example, Jumia now. When you order for things on Jumia, you pay directly on Jumia. And sometimes, yes, apart from the logistics, sometimes they tell you to pay the logistic guy when he delivers the goods. So I don't know, are you saying that is e-business and not e-commerce?
Okay, so let me take you first. Jumia is not a Nigerian company. Yeah, it's not a Nigerian company. I've been outside this country in the time past, and I've used Jumia, and it delivered to me at my location where I was. So it's not a Nigerian company. Now the reason, and let me cast your mind back again. When Jumia first came into this country, if you can recall, you pay them when they deliver to you. Yeah. It was when they noticed that they deliver to people and people keep rejecting. When you reject, I have my money now. My money is with me. I've not parted my money. So you can't tell me, you can't force it down my throat. If you remember, that's when I said, no, this rejection is becoming, although they have their own lots of issues to deal with. What you order is not usually what you get. That makes the customer say, no, I won't do this. Now, back to the question you asked. A circumstances peculiar to Nigeria that made Jumia start telling you, okay, you know what? At a point, Jumia stopped taking, if you don't pay, they won't deliver. At a point, yes. At a point, if you don't pay, they won't deliver. But they discovered that Conga was cashing in and they were losing patronage. Of course, Jumia was bigger than Conga, yeah, even if Conga is a Nigerian thing. Yes, Jumia is bigger than Conga. So at the point they were losing sales. Guys are not comfortable paying online before they deliver to them. Before they then say, okay, you know what? When the delivery guy comes, pay him. You know, but that does not foreclose the fact that you cannot make payments online on Jumia. So excuse me, I'm trying to log in. Okay, that does not foreclose the fact that you cannot make payments on Jumia site. Like as I said, the payment aspect is just one aspect of it. Do you know you can also there's some sites you pay and track what you ordered? Yes, the same Jumia. Okay, I was in Rwanda sometimes last year. In my hotel room, I ordered for something in Kigali. As the thing is, I was tracking it till it got to my hotel room. Yes, and I was able to see it. But that option is not here in Nigeria. So does that mean Jumia site is just e-commerce? No. Like I said, the peculiarity of Nigeria doesn't foreclose or bars the actual thing that it's. I was tracking it from Kigali. I somewhere got to, somewhere got to something province till the receptionist called me that a Jumia guy was here. Not Europe, in an African country here in Africa here. So the summary is, yes, apart from the buying and selling, there are other things you do on e-commerce sites. But I'm saying that once it goes beyond that buying and selling, you're able to pay, you're able to track, you do the logistics around it. You know, there'll be if you reject the goods, they're able to refund you online without physical interaction and calls and physical visits to office and all those things. Then you can say, yes, that is e-commerce. Sorry, that is e-business, because it has gone beyond that buying and just mere buying and mere selling. Okay, but
Okay,
if
sir. Yes, sir.
like for instance, I know of a Gigi. Yeah, I know of Gigi. Gigi, you can't. I don't think you can pay. Can you pay? Can you pay for goods in Gigi? I doubt, because it's the person you'll be dealing with, not the company, right? In Gigi. So that one, you still need to know that that one is just e-commerce. Just come, pick your goods, pay to the person. You and the person arrange how you would receive your goods. You know, even take for instance, there are some examination sites. Say these foreign universities now. You pay online. You pay with your MasterCard. There are some exams I've written online. I paid online. I paid, in fact, before GT MasterCard. Sorry, I'm not making advert. So GT MasterCard, it's a Naira card, but you can use it to pay for USD. I recently exam paying with that GT MasterCard, but now I think they stopped it for Nigerian reasons. They stopped it. But that site where you can do all those payments, this is not even buying and selling. This one is I'm paying for a course that I did. You know, but Habit is still buying and selling because I'm paying for a knowledge which they would transfer, and of course get my certificates at the end. So you can't say it's e-commerce. So any sites that apart from just you picking a product, cherry picking a product and paying for, you know, that goes beyond that. Yes, it can be qualified as e-commerce. Sorry, e-business, not e-commerce. And of course, you know, business goes beyond buying and selling. As I mentioned, even after sales, you know, the payments aspect and the rest. Okay. Now that said, so in the center of all this e-commerce and e-business, there's one major thing that stands in the middle, and that's the internet. So I can want us to, you know, talk about, there's nobody on this call who doesn't know what internet is, but I just draw your attention to things you already know. So when you come across it in the exam, you could say, okay, you know, and all. So basically, we'll talk about internet a little and, you know, and some other things that they want us to know under internet. So gradually, we are rounding off. Don't worry, we're rounding off. So internet itself, of course, we know what internet is. Internet is a worldwide connection of all computers around the world, all computers around the world connected together. Why are they connected together? They are connected together so that they can share resources. It's a vast network that connects all computers around the world. I prefer to call it an information superhighway. It's the largest library in the world. This is my own definition of what the internet is. Because the truth is, the largest library in the world is called Library of Congress. It's in the United States. There are some informations you may want to check. You may not see. Take, for instance, Babajide may go there and want to check the history of his village, right? It may not be there. Yeah? It may not be in Library of Congress, which is the largest library in the world. Jessica, you may want to check the history of your village. It may not be there. But I'm sure if Babajide goes to Google and type history of, Babajide, where are you from? Let's say history of,
Ogun State.
where?
Ogun State.
Oh, great. History of Ijebu Ode in Ogun State, and click start. I bet. Are you from Ijebu? Oh, great. So you owe me one wine, be that now. So when he types history of Ijebu Ode, Ogun State, and click start, definitely the internet will bring out lots of information that you cannot even finish, that you cannot even exhaust. Lots. But this is what you also go to Library of Congress. You may not see even any book that talk about Ogun State, let alone Ijebu Ode. Okay, so that's why I call it the largest library or information superhighway, or the largest library in the world. So we know what internet is. Internet also refers to World Wide Web, www. Those www you see refers to World Wide Web. This is a global exchange of information, ideas, messages between organizations, between governments, between persons all over the world, I remember in those days when DSTV wasn't very common. When I grew up in Festa, when DSTV wasn't very common, where you have to rely on, this complete sports, growing up, complete sports for information about maybe a football match. Let's assume a UEFA match. So the next morning you're trying to rush up to get a complete sports and all. I don't even know how those companies survive now. Because why? Everybody has internet on his phone, and everybody can Google anything. Anything. I don't even know how those companies still survive. Those print media, I don't know how they survive. Because I can't remember when last I used my money to buy. Even my company has stopped it because they discovered the newspaper they are keeping. People don't really read it. Even if you have visitors at the reception, I notice that every visitor just cross their leg and press their phone. So why are you keeping newspaper there? So they even stopped, because at the point they had one locker that the receptionist was always keeping newspaper. At the point it became fuel and this debt. They stopped at the point. How does newspaper still make their money? I don't know. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because of the internet. Internet has taken all over anything you can do on your manual paper. Everybody has. So there's a concept I can want us to know, and I need you to pay attention. There's two concepts actually. There's something called Internet of Things and Internet of Everything. Internet of Things, IoT, and Internet of Everything, IOET. The two new concepts that I can brought in. They want you to know about it. So let's pay attention. We'll talk about it, and you will see it in the notes when I share. Okay, let me just read the notes verbatim. Let me explain. I'll read the notes, then I will explain. The Internet of Things concept is based on the idea of all-round connectivity, intelligence, and cognition. The Internet of Things is the connection between people. Before I go into that, let me read the Internet of this Internet of is IOE, Internet of Everything. The Internet of Everything is the connection between people, things, data, and processes combined into a common interrelated system, the aim of which is to improve experiences and make smarter decisions. What am I saying? Internet of Everything deals with you and I, persons, things you see around us, raw facts and figures, which are data, process and procedures, everything combined together to form a system. And I told you, that's why I started by explaining what a system is at the beginning. So what is the reason for this? So that we can make a more informed decision. So when you see yourself, persons interacting with data, interacting with the system, interacting with processes and procedures, we can call that Internet of Everything. Okay? While Internet of Things is simply based on, excuse me. Okay, let me continue the notes. I will explain. It means that intelligent internet connection are not restricted by computers, tablets, and smartphones. Any object can be outfitted and digital features and connected to a common network, objects, people, process in order to generate valuable information. So what am I saying? Well, what they're trying to say here is, aside from person's computer, tablet, smartphones put together, other things around you can be put together so that you can be able to make a more informed decision aside from your normal computer and the rest. Okay? While Internet of Things, what I explained, what I've been talking about is Internet of Everything. Now, Internet of Things here is simply the interconnectivity of physical objects that sends and receive data. What am I saying? Internet of Things simply this. Look at it. Look at the name. Internet of Things. Just Internet of Things. It simply means the interconnectivity of physical objects. We're talking about the marks, the cable. Physical objects that are connected together. Why are they connected together? So that they can send and receive data. That's all it does. While the larger concept is Internet of Everything, which includes the Internet of Things, plus people, plus process, plus technologies, plus everything around that makes you make an informed and smarter and better decision. I don't know if I've confused you. Please confirm I have not confused you in my explanation. I could take it again.
No, sir.
Okay. Just for clarity, Internet of Things focuses only on physical objects only. Please take note of this. You can see this in your OBJ, you can see it in your theory. Internet of Things, IoT, Internet of Things. The aim is just on physical connection of objects together. Why are they connected? So they can send and receive message. While Internet of Everything, IoE, Internet of Everything, encompasses both the things, which is just Internet of Things, both the things, the processes, the data, and the persons, you and I. So if I may ask you, which one do you think has a broader scope, Internet of Things or Internet of Everything?
Internet of Everything.
Fantastic. Internet of Everything encompasses everything. In fact, the name speaks for itself. Because Internet of Things just focuses on objects. Please take note. Dash focuses on only objects. You now see Internet of Things, you see Internet of Everything, you see other things. Please take note of the one that is being asked. I can want you to know. I can also want you to, apart from these two concepts I've explained about the internet, I can also want you to know about social media. Jessica, could you just mute your device? Thank you. I kind of want you to know about social media. Of course, social media are digital channel that helps us to interact with one another. Yeah? Helps us to interact with one another. One of them is one of the devices we're using. We can have the same meeting online. Sorry, this same meeting on Facebook. We can have the same meeting in Twitter. We can have the same meeting on WhatsApp. These are various social media sites. Media, as I said, social media are interactive digital channels that is created to facilitate sharing of information, ideas, interests, and all. That is the reason why social media was created at the first place. When Facebook was created within a department in a university, just for that department alone, to interact with one another. Not until that, hey, this thing they've created is fantastic. Can we extend it? They start extending it. Before you know it, you feel the whole of America. Before you know it, it's exported to European countries. Before you know it, Nigeria has jumped onto it. And look at where Facebook today. Facebook balance sheet is bigger than the whole of Africa put together. I saw it somewhere last year. Facebook, the amount Facebook has is bigger than GDP of African countries put together. So that tells you how big it is. So for social media, of course, it's created, as I said, to share information, to share ideas, to share interests, and all those things will be done on the internet, via the internet. Social media likes your Facebook, like your Twitter, like your Instagram, like your, Pinterest, like your LinkedIn, like your Snapchat, like your YouTube, like WhatsApp, like them, WeChat, WordPress, Blogger, Medium, all manner of social media are bound. These are just limited ones that I'm able to remember. Of course, social media has got its advantages, its benefits. Because you can quantify the enormosity of social media when it comes to marketing. In fact, I have a neighbor who practically resigned her work from Access Bank. She sits at home to do her marketing online. I'm going to work in the morning. She's getting her things pushed on the internet, and trust me, she's doing very well. She doesn't. I mean, Access Bank, I'm done with you guys. She just sits at home to all manner of products. She markets all manner of products. That wouldn't have been possible if there was no social media. That wouldn't have been possible. And she gets other delivery guys just come to pick up and deliver. She gets her money. Cool. Okay. It increased brand awareness. Of course, that's why if you notice, most companies, once they come up with new products, they're pushing it, on the internet. Of course, it also helps in driving traffic to your sites. Then improve personalized customer service. Like as she is now, she's reaching out to their customer. She's able to interact, unlike maybe you're buying from PZ. PZ doesn't know you now. And even in political campaigns, we saw how this last American that brought in Biden. If you remember that morning, it was on Facebook, we were watching it, red overtake blue, blue will overtake red, red overtake blue, blue will overtake till eventually the blue overtook the red that gave Biden the presidential ticket, which he's going to lose anyway in the next election. I didn't say that though. This is my own personal opinion, But that is Facebook, and that's how social media, was used. Of course, in this last election too, you saw how LP guys, maybe some of you are also here listening to me, how social media assisted a lot of you guys in LP to, push your agenda. And truly it went far. It went far. It really went far. The social media, even the current president specifically said he does not open social media because he knows his own people are not on social media. That tells you how powerful social media is. Okay, so it promotes business services and business products and services. Of course, you're able to use it to test new markets. So through this job, you're able to know this product I'm producing, how people react, will they buy it? And of course, it opens up new market as well. It opens up new markets. Like the lady who I said, if she has resigned from Access Bank and she wants to do business, most likely she'll go and get a shop. But she stays in the comfort of her room. That's a new market for her. And she's able to dish anything she wants to dish. And guess what? She's getting patronage. And of course, it will increase your patronage, no doubt about that. And also complement other marketing efforts. We're looking at social media. Okay, so as we're gradually rounding off, we'll look at e-commerce and various models in e-commerce. I've explained what e-commerce means before, buying and selling, on the internet. So I can want us to know some various e-commerce models. So look at them one by one. So we'll have the first one as B2B. B2B means business to business model. So this simply means interaction between two organizations exchanging goods on the internet, business to business. That's why it's called B2B. We'll have another one, B2C. B2C, okay, before I even continue, can somebody give me an example of, two businesses exchanging goods, services, that can suit this model I just explained, business to business? Just unmute yourself and talk. Anyone? Talk now. This one is even very easy.
I think maybe wholesalers selling to people who want to resell also.
Thank you. That's a good idea. That's apt. Okay, wholesalers. Okay, fine. What about businesses that produces goods? They get their raw material from somewhere now. That raw material they're getting is not from a business. Yeah, I produce bread. My name is Ife's Bread Limited. That's my company. I get supply from Jessica. Jessica Limited supplies me flour. That's business to business now. She supplies me flour. I pay her. I use it to produce my bread. Okay. Anyway, I'm sure you understand what I mean. Then I have another one, B2C, business to customer. So this model simply, in fact, if I even explain it, someone should give me an example before I even explain it. We've talked about this B2C this evening.
Maybe Jumai to the customer.
Exactly. Jumia is an example of Jumia, Konga, GT, all of them are business to customer. Of course, that's a business, and you are buying from them. Perfect. Sanusi, who spoke? Was it Sanusi who spoke?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No,
Oh,
sir.
great.
Thank
Your
you.
example is apt. Now have C2C, customer to customer. Of course, you're a customer, I'm a customer. We shall have a platform. In a good example, you see it on Facebook. I sell something. I'm a person selling something. You, not a business, so you're also a person wanting to buy. Then we meet on a platform, maybe on Facebook or on Instagram. Then we exchange, and of course you buy. Maybe I don't like my old wristwatch again. I snap it, I put it on Facebook and put the price. Anybody that wants to contact this number, of course you see that in a lot. That's customer to customer, C to C. Then we have C to B, customer to business. Now, this is a reverse of business to customer. Because the individual, like maybe you get a consultant, for instance, to come and develop your website as a business. That is C to B. Because the consultant is an individual, as in coming as an individual, not as a business, while is providing service to a business. Then we have G to C. So G to C is government to citizen. Government to citizen. We all wrote WAEC. WAEC is not just an examination body, it's a government body, a regulatory body, that regulates entrance exam or SSC exam. So we all wrote exam. So once we wrote that WAEC, we'll find ourselves in this. What am I even saying? This tax pro max that the government is using. So don't come physically to file anything in our office. Do everything online. That tax pro max is government reaching out to his citizen. Then we also have citizen to government, C to G. This time around, it is you that you're providing or asking questions from the government. I can want you to know about these various business models in case. What is business model? These 2 examples or these 5 examples, list and explain 5 examples of business models. If you remember one, just reverse it. Like I just mentioned, government to citizen. Once after explaining that one, reverse it, citizen to government. You don't forget on that day, there'll be a lot of things in your head. So you have to look for a smart way to remember and answer the question. There's also business to government. People tendering for contracts and the rest. And of course, eventually awarded and all. Okay, so we'll look at some of the benefits of e-commerce, talk about speed of processing, gradually rounding off, the faster and global outreach to customers. Of course, you're able to reach out to people you don't even know once you host your product online. Of course, there's cost reduction. Like this lady, she's not paying for shop, she's not paying for sales girl, she's not paying for lights, she's not paying for local government. She just stays in the comfort of her room. Once she pays her rent, she's covered. And there's no geographical boundary. Someone in UK can even ask for a product. The only thing she needs to do is get a logistics company to dispatch. And it is you who is buying that will even pay, not her. Then of course it gives you more competitive edge. So some of the challenges, this is very important. Some of the challenges of this e-commerce, having looked at the benefits, of course, as the world is now, you can't even do without e-commerce. So having known the benefit that yes, we can't do without it, but it comes with a lots of threats, lots of challenges. So just quickly look at it because I kind of want you to know. So one of them is cyber and data security threats. of course, a part of cyber threats. Then, attacks by hackers, by virtue of the fact that you're putting your ATM card, that's 16 digits in your ATM card, and the other 3 digits at the reverse side. For the fact that you're putting it online, you're exposing your bank account. I'm sure you understand what I mean. You're exposing your bank account. If you put those numbers, on a criminal side, trust me, in split of seconds, your account can be drained. Your account can be drained. That's why if you're buying anything online that requires you to put in your card, I have a colleague in the office. Anything say online, put card. You won't see him. No matter how you convince him, you will not say, him, okay, let me send the money to you and use your own card. That's what he'll tell you. And guess what? Would you blame him? You won't blame him fully. So I can need you to be aware of this challenge. There's security breaches as well. There's online theft. We'll talk about this much later. And again, when this thing happens, who enforces all these things? It's covered that enforcement is very slow. And the ability to track, the Nigerian police force, yes, they are trying, they have some tracking devices, but how quick or how fast are they able to track? I've been at home, I was on leave. Then I saw, I use a GT app, I use GT Bank. I saw some debits coming to my, that was used to buy an online, some debits coming to my accounts. Like I was a bit taken aback. I was even on leave that period, so I couldn't go to the bank. I couldn't do anything. I wasn't around. I just called the online customer. This is what's happening, And trust me, I didn't buy anything. I didn't even. The last time I was in a while. When I come back, before I come back, shall I reverse all? And they did. They did. Trust me, they did. They reversed all the whole debits, that came in. So in all this e-commerce thing that we're talking about, and e-commerce, theft, for this e-commerce and e-business actually to work effectively, there must be that payment system. That payment system is very key. And basically there are four known or 4 types of electronic payment channel. We have the wire transfer. Of course, wire transfer, use an application and send money to anybody you want to send to, wire transfer. Then we have your debit card, the one you and I call ATM card that okay. Before I continue, can someone on this call tell me the difference between a debit card and a credit card? Don't worry, any answer you say is not wrong. I just want to feel your pulse. A debit card and a credit card. Anyone?
Okay.
I'm sure you must have had the 2 of them.
Understanding.
Okay, Jessica. Go ahead. Uh-oh. Jessica has dropped off. Temitope, you want to give it a shot? Catherine, you want to give it a shot? Jide?
Well, I know debit card is the normal ATM card we use for
Okay.
day-to-day transactions. But the credit card, I'm not so sure. I know I've heard about it, but I'm not really sure of it.
Thank you for the
Sorry,
fair trial.
I went off. I went off, please.
Yes. So while we're waiting for you, Temitope was able to give a shot on debit card. So
Okay.
you want to explain credit card now?
Okay, well,
Or
credit
both?
cards are cards that are issued by financial institutions, like when they give you credits, like put money in the account for you to make use of, then you pay back with time.
Thank you, Temitope and Jessica. Both of you are actually correct. Let me just explain just add flesh to what you have said. Yes, Temitope, you said credit card, you're not too sure of what it is. Yes, and I don't blame you. The reason is it's not a common thing in this part of the world, not just Nigeria, in this part of the world. Maybe because of our non-developed financial system and our fraudulent tendencies. So debit card, you are correct, Temitope. Use your ATM card. Whatever thing you do to your ATM card, that's debit card. Basically for the money you already have, your own money, just to spend your money. I'm putting it in the layman terms, so it's not ambiguous. So debit card is, I am spending my money through a plastic card. Good. Now, credit card simply put, is a loan from a financial institution, typically a bank. Yes. Take this card. This card has 500,000 naira already loaded as a loan to you. It is now you who will be depleting that 500 based on your credit rating anyway. Depleting that 500,000 till is exhausted. However, this money, this 500,000 I will give to you, we'll be picking it back from maybe from your place of work. We're picking it maybe 50K every month for the next 10 months. That will give us the 500,000 naira plus our commission as a bank. So you can see they are not the same thing. So one is your money that you are spending through a plastic card, while the other one is a loan. As I said, credit card is not it's not a prevalent feature in this part of the world. Yeah, it's not a common thing. It's not a common thing in this part because of maybe our fraudulent nature or our undeveloped financial institutions. I don't know, but it's not a common. It's not a common thing you
I'm
see.
sorry to interject. There are so many
Okay.
people that issue credit cards. I work in a credit card company. We issue credit cards in my company.
Yeah, but it's not a common. It's not okay. Apart from yourself, how many of us on this call has applied credit card? I have not. I don't know. We are 5 or thereabouts. I have not. I don't know if somebody else has. That is that it's not a common.
I've
It doesn't
not
mean
as a
it's not there, but it's not a common thing. But everybody on this call has a debit card, has an ATM card, either expired, working, or about to be issued. So you see the difference. Yes, of course it does exist, but it's not a common thing in this part of the world. Rather, you see people applying for pure loan, from the bank. Thank you for that observation. At least you have an idea of what's credit card. That's where I was going to. So the second means, sorry, I digressed a little, was this debit card, that brought about the credit card. And another one was through a mobile payment channel. This one will also do that, where we have an app downloaded on our phones, on our laptops, and we make payments. Then we also have, I mentioned the wire transfer channel. That is also a means. All this you see in the notes. And finally, so while we're making all these payments using our debit card, let's be aware of some, attack mechanism that these hackers uses. Let's be aware of it. There is this one called ransomware. It is a form of malware that encrypts a victim's file. So what it means is that your file will be encrypted. When it means encrypted, you Gongo that owns the file will not be able to have access to it till you pay a ransom. Like they kidnapped your file. It's called ransomware. They also have malware. Malware is a short form of malicious ware. With that one you call virus, the one you call worms or Trojan virus that steals or destroy, the data you have. Maybe you have worked, maybe you have prepared your financial of your company, you saved it in Excel, and somehow, the Trojan horse is able to, a virus is able to attack that system. The next day, you try to open the financials, so you cannot open it. The financial you prepare from trial balance all the way to income to your statement of financial position. You know what it means? Prepare cash flow, value added, everything. Now you try to open it, you cannot open it. Just know your village people are at work. So there are also ones that gather intelligence, try to gather information, confidential information about the person using it. There was a time there was an ATM. I'm not going to disclose the bank. These hackers, they installed something in that ATM. If you are here, not mistakenly, they installed it, but the security system of that bank, I don't know, they were not able to detect it. So anytime you slot in your card in that ATM machine, apart from you, yes, you do your transaction, but that card copies your data, your password, everything into the card. Just empty it. Then late at night, those guys come to pick it. Then they go to their system with their software. They try to download every person that. That's why I advise anybody, and I'm saying it again in this class. do not use an ATM machine that is not attached. That is not attached to a bank. It's not advisable. So I'm not saying you cannot use it, but be extremely very careful when you're using an ATM machine that is not attached to a bank. Because this one I'm talking about wasn't attached. So those guys were able to do their stuff without, the bank security noticing, the person. Okay, there's one also called brute force. This and a try and error. Now this one has to do with, okay, maybe when you're trying to, enter your password. When ATM becomes crowded, you see this a lot on the mainland, on some part of a market area that has an ATM, where a lot of people are there trying to wait for you. Got finish now. You wasted a lot of time. And while you're punching your password, someone is looking through your shoulders to look at what's your key combinations. Okay, so once you are done and is able to gain access to maybe someone close to you, to your card, and the person tries to do all manner of things. We'll talk about this various attacks later. But one quick way to to deal with this attack, as always, is make sure you use a password to protect any of your files. And of course, password has its rules, which I think everyone on this call should know. There should be a minimum length of password. Like in my place of work, every 30 days, you must change your password. Must on the line. Must change your password. It must be a combination of letter, alphabet, alphanumeric, then special characters. You must combine in that way. It can't be only alphabets, it can't be only numbers, it can't be only special. You must combine the three put together. You must not use your name. You must not use your date of birth, which a lot of you do, even to your ATM cards. It's not advisable. I'm sure somebody on this call is guilty of what I just said. You must not. I'm just trying to tell you the password rules, and these are things you should even apply. Apart from writing an ICANN exam, apply to your day-to-day life. Okay, there is firewall that should be installed. I just talked about password, ways to deal with all these hackers. There's firewall that should be installed. Firewall, there are devices. Some come in software, some come in hardware, that prevents unauthorized access to company's file. Okay. Also install detection system so that if there are attack, detection system, prompts the administrator, oh, there's an attack on system 6. So the next thing to do is to isolate system 6 and deal with it. Then needless to mention that you must install antivirus to your system, and always on the line, always update your virus. Because the truth is, as you and I are speaking, people are producing virus. As you're listening to me, people are producing virus all over the world. So you cannot expect an antivirus of 2020 to clear or to clean a virus of 2024. Most likely that virus will be more powerful. But my system has antivirus now. The question is, when does the update? I hear this often. As virus, now why does virus attack it? When last did you update it? So always use up-to-date antivirus so that if there are newer virus, the antivirus is able to, clear it. And for you to do all this, there must be IT policy in place. That takes me to IT policy. So IT policy requires, like for instance, I just mentioned one of the policies we have in my place of work. You must change your password. If you don't, the system will log you out till you change it. You must change your password every 30 days. The IT policy. There's also a policy that once you see any form of virus mail, do not open it. Just forward to IT departments. Leave IT to, take care of it. So IT policies are procedures. They are IT procedures. There are guidelines that organizations set. To guide the usage of its IT and its assets, just to protect the organization. Okay. So finally, to round off, I kind of want us to talk about outsourcing. What it's all about, outsourcing of IT resources and equipment. Some organizations don't have IT departments, but they enjoy IT resources. Wondering how? Yeah, that is only possible through this outsourcing. So outsourcing means you are ceding the resources, the responsibility of IT to another company, howbeit with a fee. if you understand what I mean. So here, we are not going to employ IT staff or give them IT. No, we'll recede it maybe to 21st century. They'll be the ones who will be providing our IT resources. The only thing we need to do is every month, send us your invoice. We'll pay you guys. I know of a company that's even outsourced their finance department. So that one is very risky, but they outsourced it. Unfortunately, it's even an IT company. They don't have accountants. They outsource it to one of these big four. They do their thing, and every month they send their bill. They pay them. So outsourcing is also possible for IT. In fact, it's even more common in IT than any other department. So there are various ways you can outsource. You have your on-site. So this model where the procuring office or the company would have the outsourcing vendor physically located. You will come to the company's office. That's where they will be. How big is another company providing that service? But they will need to come to the physical location of where the company is. Then also have onshore. This entails contracting the business function in question to a third party who reside either in another state, maybe as we are in Lagos, we contract a company. I'm talking about onshore, a company maybe around Ibadan to provide our IT resources. Okay. We also have nearshore. This refers to a model of engaging the services of a company that are located almost at neighboring state or country. So maybe as we are now, we'll have one in Benin, maybe a company in Benin providing service to a company in Lagos State. Okay, that is nearshore. Then offshore means the company is outside, maybe somewhere in Europe. Like we have something like our cloud storage now. We store with Google. Google is not located in Nigeria. So that type of outsourcing you can say is offshore. Google sends us their invoice and we make payment to them. But our data is stored with Google. On a monthly basis, they send us invoice and we'll pay. So what it means is that the company has outsourced its storage, its storage to another company. Okay, so gentlemen and ladies, I'm going to draw the curtains here. As I said, Jessica, I would send this material to you. Just send me a WhatsApp chat. Give me your email address on the WhatsApp. I'll send to you about now.
I don't have your number, please.
We do not have your number.
Oh, okay. We're not on the same. Are you sure we're not on the same group on management information?
Well, if you're on the group, I think it would be easier if you can just forward the material to the group directly.
To MI group.
To the MI.
The MI group, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. On the group. Okay. So we'll draw the curtains here today, but let me prepare to send the material. But before we do that, I want to quickly spend the next 5 minutes thereabouts to do something, okay, that will involve everyone. So I have questions I want us to review, which will be beneficial. There are past ICANN questions and some allied ICANN questions. There are past ICANN questions and some allied ICANN questions. So I would no question. Nobody is wrong. Let's get that clear. So I would just so what I want to do is excuse me. I'm trying to open the file. Okay. So I will call you randomly. We'll just for the want of time, we'll just take one question each. I'll call you randomly and ask you a question. We'll just look at the OBJ parts. And again, if you want me to also share this question, it has answers. Answers to the questions. As I said, there are ICANN questions and there are past ICANN questions and there are some allied icon. Allied, don't ask me what it means, but maybe on that day, if you see some of this question repeating itself on that day, then you'd that's why I use the word allied icon questions. Okay, so we go. As I said, I'm going to call you and you just answer. Okay. So Temitope, let me start with you. Temitope, this is your question. So I'm going to read. All of the following are components of a business information system, except all of the following are information system except all of the following. The question I'm asking you revolve around what we did today. So it's not like outside what we've done, just to remind ourselves of what we just did. And as I said, nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong. Okay, Temitope, here comes the question. All the following are components of information system except A, transaction processing system, B, production support system, C, executive information system, D, option identification system, E, expert system. Take the question again. Transaction processing system, production support system, executive information system, option identification system, expert system. Temitope.
I think it's expert system.
Sorry.
Oh.
Is that your final answer?
Mm-hmm.
So the question is,
yes,
again,
sir.
all of the following are information system except one. So A is transaction processing system, production support system, executive information system, option identification system, and expert system. So meaning that all of them are example of information system except one.
I'll go with the expert system.
Expert system. Final answer, expert system.
Yes,
is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So Temitope, I know you're trying to be sincere with your answer, but you're sincerely wrong.
And the option identification system sounds like, I feel like I've heard you say something like that, the identification part of it. But the expert system, I didn't hear you say that too.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. So if not for expert system, which other one would you have chosen?
The option identification system.
Option identification system is actually the correct answer. So in expert system, it was expert system I was explaining when I use MRI, giving an expert opinion that mimics the opinion of an expert. That the MRI that, as I said, if you're joining, I use my company as if you're joining, you're going to do that test, MRI test. There is an opinion of a doctor that will reach to the HR directly. I gave that illustration. I was actually referring, it was expert system I was referring to. It's okay. I mean, that's why we're doing this. I'm sure if you come across something like this again, you'll be more good. I like the spirit. Okay. Catherine, Sanusi, give it a shot. Your question. Which of the following is odd? Catherine, Sanusi, this is your question. Computer fraud, computer virus, hacking, computer interface, copyright piracy, sorry. I'll take that again. Sanusi, this is your question. Which of the following is odd? Computer fraud, computer virus, hacking, computer interface, copyright piracy.
Computer interface.
Computer interface is correct. Thank you very much. Computer interface.
Thank you.
You can see every other one there deals with some form of criminality. Computer fraud, computer virus. Of course, virus is written by human, written to disrupt a program so that, in most cases, so that that same person that wrote virus will write antivirus and sell it to you to buy. That's criminality. Then hacking. Hacking is a malicious way of gaining access, getting information through an unauthorized way. That's criminality. Then copyright, piracy. Of course, we all know what piracy is. Producing what's originally it's not yours. So that's criminality. So the only one that seems odd is computer interface. Thank you very much, Catherine. Thank you. Okay. Trying to log in again. My system has logged off. Okay. Jide, your question. Your question, Jide. I take the question.
Okay.
Which of the following describe an expert system? Take that again. Which of the following describe an expert system? 1. It is a form of decision support system. B. Is a form of decision support system that uses artificial intelligence. C. Analysis of costs, benefits, and risk associated with information flow. D. Analysis of measurable business data. I'll take the question again. Which of the following describe an expert system? A. Is a form of decision support system. B. Is a form of decision support system that uses artificial intelligence. C. Analysis of costs, benefits, and risk associated with information flow. D. Analysis of measurable business data. Did it?
C.
What is C?
C.
Whatever is in C should be DRB. Okay, let me read the question first. The option for C says analysis of cost, benefits, and risk associated with information flow. Is that what you want to choose?
Please, can you read the questions all over again? Sorry.
No, not a problem. I will do that. Which of the following describe an expert system? I mean, which of them gives a better description of an expert system, if you know what an expert system is? It's a form of decision support system, that is A. B. It's a form of decision support system that uses artificial intelligence. Excuse me. Then C. Analysis of cost, benefits, and risk associated with information flow. D. Analysis of measurable business data.
Okay, B.
So B is a form of decision support system that uses artificial intelligence.
Yes.
Is that your answer?
Yes.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
Jide, are you sure this is the final answer? Where you answer?
Yes, I'm sure.
Okay. So Jide, thank you. You are correct. That's correct. Expert system uses artificial intelligence, uses AI. AI, it's a system that tries to mimic human. And that's exactly what decision support system does. Okay. Jessica, your question. Jessica, your question. I'm trying to look for a more complicated one for you.
Please
Don't mind me.
don't.
I'm checking. Don't worry. You'll be fine. Okay. Your question. Which of those is not an attribute of information technology? Which of these is not an attribute of information technology? So we go. A. It can help one to work smarter. B, it allows one to walk away from one's office. C, it allows one to rely on technical specification. D, it allows one to be informed. It allows one informed even on the move, to be informed even on the move. And E, it can get one closer to its customers. The question is, which one is not an attribute of IT? It helps one work faster. B, it allows one to walk away from one's office. C, it allows one to rely on technical specification. D, it keeps one informed even on the move. E, it gets one closer to his customer.
Please, can you repeat the C again?
C, it allows one to rely on technical specification.
I think the answer is C.
The answer is C. C.
Yes, C.
C is actually correct.
Yay.
C is actually correct. C is actually correct. So, Temitepo, you didn't get my question when I asked you. So I'm going to give you another question, just to be sure that we are all, we all have a tick going to bed tonight. So, Temitepo, your question again.
Okay, sir.
Using or conspiring to use computer or network resources to illegally obtain information is referred to as using or conspiring to use the computer or network resources to illegally obtain information may be referred to as A, hacking, B, piracy, C, cyber theft, D, computer crime, E, salami technique. Take that again. Using the computer or conspiring to use the computer or network resources to illegally obtain information may be referred to as hacking, piracy, cyber theft, computer crime, salami technique. The way you are breathing.
The thing is that all of them, like, they are looking the same in my head.
Hacking, piracy, cyber theft, computer crime, salami technique. When you use the computer to commit an illegal means, that's the question. What is it called? Hacking, piracy, cyber thefts, computer crime, salami technique.
Cyber theft. I'm not so sure.
Cyber theft, is that your final answer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Before I actually tell you if you're correct or wrong, do anyone on this call has a contrary opinion? Anybody? Do anyone on this call has a contrary option? The options are hacking, piracy, computer theft, computer crime, and salami technique.
The question again, sir.
So the question is, using or conspiring to use computer or network resources to illegally obtain information may be referred to as hacking, piracy, cyber thefts, computer crime, salami technique. I know we didn't do this part today, but somehow.
Computer crime.
So who answered now?
Jessica, I said computer crime.
Yes, it's like I'm looking at it to be computer crime because it's a criminal act to have.
Yeah, it wasn't part of. We'll look at it in our fourth class. But I just want to throw the spanner into the wheel. Yes, the answer is computer crime. Hacking, piracy, cyber theft. Temitope, I'm coming to you. Wait first. Hacking, piracy, cyber theft, salami technique, they are all examples of computer crime. And computer crime is the act of using computer or any of these resources to commit any illegal means. It's simply called computer crime. See the name now, computer crime. And they're asking you using a computer or network resources to illegally obtain information. It's referred to as well. It's computer crime now. Every other one then is an example of computer crime. Yes, as I said, we didn't talk about this today, but I just deliberately, brought it about to see if we can be able to, attempt it. Thank you, Jessica. So, Temitope, I'm not done with you. I'm going to give you another question. You must get one question before we take a bow today. So, this is another question. And the last chance at that. Electronic breaking and entering into a computer system is known as electronic breaking and entering into a computer system is known as filming, firewall, privacy, hacking, chapping. Electronic breaking and entering into a computer system is known as filming, firewall, privacy, hacking, chapping. Answer. Temitope.
I'm trying to get it right. Electronic breaking into a computer system
is known as filming, firewall, privacy, hacking, chapping.
Oh God, I don't get this wrong again.
Okay, what do you have in mind? What do you have in mind among all of them?
Hacking.
Is hacking. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, but you asked me this question. I'm really more scared.
Okay.
Good.
Temitope, look no further. Hacking is correct. Hacking is actually the electronic means of breaking into a computer system. It's called hacking. You're the one saying
Thank you, sir.
You're the one saying finally.
You said it's correct now, so that's what I'm saying finally.
No, it's correct. I'm happy for you too, though. I'm happy for you.
Because I was actually feeling bad before. So I was actually scared because I didn't want to choose the wrong answer again. So I didn't know what to do. So choosing hacking is just because every other thing, I don't know, the last answer, I don't know, the last option rather, I really don't know what that means. So I just chose hacking, sure. That's the truth.
And thank God hacking is correct.
I'm happy. So, thank you very much, sir.
Yeah. So on this note, I want to draw the curtains. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you for taking out time, having, had a very busy day, and you still hang on till the very end. I hope you've learned something today. Let me know if you would want those questions where I read those questions from. Where I compiled, let me know if you would want it. I would share with you.
We would.
It has answers at the back.
Please share with us, sir.
Okay, great. It has both OBJ and the written questions. The answers are also at the back. Don't be surprised if you see some questions here repeated word for word on that day.
Amen.
So I'm going to share this with you and you know. And please, the right time to start reading, because the holiday is over, apparently. You notice from next week, all the decorations on our roads and streets will be taken down. So what that means is the holiday is over. It's time to get to work. So the best time to get ready for May exam is now. A a lot of lecturers are coming to you with different topics, are coming to you with different subjects. Don't wait for the expire. Don't forget. If I presume everybody here is working, so you don't have the time. You don't have the time. So the best thing for us to do is to start now. Start knocking the topics, start knocking them. Yes, even if you don't read in depth, as in depth, just read it. That thing that you've been taught, it has a way of sticking. Just read it so that by the time you come back to it again, you don't be saying, okay, this is what he means, this is what he meant. Okay, but then by the time you now finally review, preparing maybe like a week to the exam, it will stick. It will stick. To stick. I said, I was telling them that the joy some of us take in taking ICANN classes. By the way, I've been taking this course for more than 10 years. Yeah, for more than 10 years in various tuition centers. More than 10 years. So the joy some of us get is not the money. The money is peanuts, but the fact that you receive a call, someone calls you to tell you, oh, sir, thank you. I passed MI. Thank you, I passed this. And the joy is usually, it's not something one can quantify. So please let's make it happen this night. Let's start reading. You've got the volume of what you read is big. And let me tell you a secret up in this course, in this particular course. The quickest way or the smartest way to scale through this course is to pay attention to your IP. Yes. One, it's easier to assimilate. Don't forget the same points that is allocated, the same mark that is allocated to the OBJ, the theory part. The same mark that is allocated to it is the same mark that is allocated to the custom part. And it's something you would answer in less than that 30 minutes that is allocated to it. So you have more time to attend to the custom part. But you have to be smart about it. As I said, it's something I've taught for more than over a decade, so I can tell you, the best and the quickest way to scale through. Nobody cares about how you pass. Just pass. Nobody cares about how you pass. So thank you very much again, and let's meet some other time. Thank you.
Thank you,
Okay, sir. But please, you didn't confirm if you're on the WhatsApp group.
So I'm using my phone I delivered the lecture via my phone, so I'll need to stay off. But how be it, Jessica, I would still want you to give me your email address, please. I still want you to. I can. Yeah. Okay. Let me.
Should I call it out?
No, I just wanted your email. Okay. Let me just get to. So let's not bother. Okay, I am dropping my number. Just send me your email address. I'm on WhatsApp on this line. So I've sent my number on the chat. This is 583. This is my number.
It's actually on the group. You're on the group.
Oh.
Yes, I saw this number on the group. MI group, yes.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
I'll
get the material. Okay, today.
Okay, yes, sir. So when can we get the recording, sir? The recording of this session.
Okay, recording. So Network has an administrator. I'm not the administrator. I'll just give an access like you. But we can ask Mr. Watiu of the recording, because I know the lectures are recorded. Yep.
Okay.
So if I was one that set up the meeting, it would drop immediately I end the meeting, but I'm not the one, so it won't drop. But it will drop with network. I'm sure. So we can always, any that I can assure you that networks would always provide you any of the assistance you need, any of them. So that I can assure you. So I am okay. I am actually sharing the notes now. So let me allow exit. So Jessica, you can just give me your email address so that I can send to you straight up. Okay?
Okay, I'll send you a message on WhatsApp now.
Okay, great. So thank you very much to everyone, and have a good night rest.
You too, sir.
Thank you, sir.